In the annals of the curious, there exists a tale initially told by Richard Baldwin of one Arthur Jones, inventor of contraptions known as Nautilus machines. Mike Mentzer, a protege of the inventor, was known to employ Jones's so-called high-intensity training methods. Our narrative meanders through the corridors of Nautilus headquarters, where Baldwin finds himself invited coincidentally on the very same day as Mentzer. As Baldwin traverses the hallowed halls of Nautilus, he encounters an unsettling spectacle. Within that sanctuary of sweat and sinew, a room awaited him, wherein sat a man with garments crumpled, countenance obscured by a shroud of smoke from a cigarette's ember. With crooked legs crossed and hands tainted by nicotine's embrace, the man presented the visage of a janitor at leisure. Richard, our bewildered observer, could not fathom the possibility that this unkempt figure was none other than Arthur Jones himself. Astonishment begets the enigma of characters, and Baldwin was in for a symphony of eccentricities. As they wandered, and the hours flowed with Jones's ceaseless monologue, the complex psyche of this inventor was unfurled before the inquisitive eyes of our protagonist. In Jones's words, Richard encountered a social Darwinist, a self-professed extremist, a character a million miles to the right of Attila the Hun. The federal government, that monolithic institution, was the object of his fervent disdain. To Arthur, Washington was a citadel ripe for conquest, a thought that jarred our observers' sensibilities. Stories flowed like unbridled rivers as Jones boasted of government agencies casting furtive glances in his direction due to his fleet of aircraft. Boasting further, he dared to envision himself as the usurper of the nation, a ruler with a peculiar penchant for selective elimination. Those he deemed inferior were marked for removal, a purge that eerily included bodybuilders, save for a rare intelligent exception named Richard. And the tale thickens with harrowing narratives, each more sinister than the last. A sojourn in Rhodesia unfurled a macabre episode, wherein Jones, tasked with crocodile capture, engaged in illicit practices to feed his reptilian charges. A zealous wildlife officer, uncovering his malfeasance, threatened to seize his equipment and expel him. Yet, in Jones' account, this officer vanished, consumed by the very creatures he sought to protect. As if this wasn't macabre enough, there was yet more to the saga. To halt the theft of his equipment by native hands, Jones embarked on a gruesome expedition. The hapless men of the village found themselves consigned to a trench, filled by the coerced hands of the women to their heads, only for a bulldozer to cruelly sever those very heads. The result? Theft ceased, and an indelible impression was etched upon Baldwin's mind. To say that Baldwin's brief sojourn within the confines of Arthur Jones's eccentric world was disconcerting would be a profound understatement. The vagaries of this inventor's mind danced on the precipice of darkness, leaving an indelible mark on the unassuming visitor. With great haste and perhaps a sense of survival, Baldwin withdrew from this peculiar theatre, his mind forever scarred by the eccentric tales of Arthur Jones.